Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 198 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, and welcome back to episode 198 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here this week. I hope that you stay for a very long time and bring lots of friends. And if you've been here before, you guys know what the deal is. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. Your support makes all of this possible, and it inspires me to keep going. So I want to thank you for everything. And please, bring more friends, share, like, subscribe. Let's grow this thing together. Before we get started with this week's episode, I like to be really foundational. For those of you that have been listening for a while, I'm sure you can recite this with me, but I don't know, I might change it up on you. So stay on your toes. But anywho, I'm just kidding. But essentially, this is the part where I like to talk about why I'm doing this. And I'm doing this because it's really important to me that I create a safe space for women. And with us creating a safe space, I feel like we have to make sure that this house is built on a very strong foundation. And so my foundation is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just want to make sure you understand, like I said, that this is a space for women. I personally have made it my mission to share my story, the good and the bad of it, because I made a promise to God a long time ago when I was on my face, when I wanted to give up, that if he spared me, I would always share the good and bad of my journey. So it is important to me to stand in authenticity and just give it to you real so that you can hopefully avoid some of the mistakes that I've made and maybe recognize within yourself that you have the ability to overcome, that you are not alone, and that good things are still possible. And especially when we share our stories, when we take a moment as women to connect in the most authentic, real ways. So that's what we do here. And it's not just me telling my story. I love to spotlight women, talking about their journey to what they're doing in their communities, because we are doing some amazing things and we need to talk about it as much as humanly possible, because that creates resources along with that inspiration. So that's why we're here, and that's what we're doing here. So welcome. Again, I hope you stay for a very, very long time and bring lots of friends, and that you are inspired to share your story. And then along that line, my second foundational thing is really one of my favorite things. I'm a sucker for love. I believe in love. Love is the thing. And so with that, I like to make sure that I show my love to you by sending you prayers every week. I think it's really important in that we are praying for each other, because it's tough out here. Let's just be real. And I think when two or more people come together in prayer, that is magnified. That's what they say biblically. So I like to follow along that suit. And so this week, it's really important to me that I send you prayers of peace and rest. Yes, peace and rest. Not that you are just standing still, taking a moment to silence all of the craziness that may be surrounding you as we enter into the fourth quarter of the year. But I also want you to take a moment to rest. I'm talking about take a nap. Yes, take a wonderful nap. God, naps are essential. I miss nap time. I feel like as adults, we all need it. I think we would be better. I think our health would be better if we had it. We're just constantly going nonstop, and we have conditioned ourselves to be a part of that. And it's crazy, but we need naps. We need rest. We need to be able to give our body what it's craving. So I hope that you will have a season of rest. Of staying up so late and watching TV all the time, and just give ourselves some rest. So I really do hope that you will take a nap this week, somehow, some way, this weekend. Prioritize a nap. I want you to have multiple naps so that you can be at your best, because you are clearer mentally and you will be better physically when you rest. So I hope that you are able to rest. And so you have my prayers of peace and rest. That also leads me into my second prayer for you this week, which is community. I really want you to be surrounded by people who really want to see you win, people who are able to correct you when you're wrong, with love, of course, because, you know, some folks like to correct people just to correct people. But no, I'm talking about correction with love because you need that. We all do, myself included. I get it. And I appreciate it because I'm not perfect and nobody is. And we have to give grace and mercy to everybody. But you need people in your life who can keep it real with you in an honest and loving way because they want to see you continue to evolve and grow. And I really want you to have a good, strong community because it's tough. And sometimes when you are out here trying to just navigate the day, not even worrying about just trying to accomplish all of your dreams, but just navigate the day, doesn't it feel good to know that you have a unit or a group of people that you can call or send a text to that can just give you a little bit of sunshine and a message? I mean, seriously, because even those smallest things matter. And we have to stop taking those small things for granted. Everything is not a grand gesture. Sometimes it's just the smallest thing. It could be the shortest conversation because you just never know what people are going through and what you may need. So I hope you have a community that feeds into you and that you're feeding into as well, because I do believe in reciprocal relationships here. Nothing is, we are not like parasites here. We don't do parasitic relationships. We are all giving reciprocity. And so I hope that you are investing in people in your life that you love. It's very easy to get caught up with work and life that you can let people be, kind of on the back burner. And it doesn't mean that you have to put in extra effort to always stay on top of it. I think people understand sometimes that, life is going to happen and things are going to slip and you're not always going to talk. But every once in a while, if it's been a minute since you talked to that person that you love and you just feel their energy and they come across your mind, especially as I'm talking about this, as somebody that you need to connect with. And so I hope that you will reach out to them, send them a text, give them a call, whatever it looks like to you, respond to a comment on social media, but just let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I hope that you're doing well, because you never know what that might do for somebody. You never know what it might do for you, because that person could call you back or contact you back and speak into your life in a way that just inspires you to feel better in that moment. And you didn't even realize that they were thinking and being that person for you. So again, take a chance, build and support and lean into your community right now, because it's important. And then rounding out my prayers this week is always a thing that I think about. But as we're talking about community, I feel like it just kind of goes hand in hand. I want you to be surrounded in love. I do. I mean, obviously, my last episode was talking about being surrounded in love because, yes, I'm surrounded in love right now and it feels really good. But I want you to be surrounded in love from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, because, again, when you're having those tough days, that's what it goes to. That when you're feeling those moments where you need someone to kind of help calm your nerves, that's what it goes to. You can always bring it back to the love. And so I just pray that you are surrounded in circumstances where your love is met, valued, cared for, and received and returned to you on all levels. So those are my prayers for you this week. I always, like I said, kind of believe in the prayer of abundance is always in there too. Of course, I'm always going to want you to be abundant mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, on all levels, because that's what leads you to be a blessing to other people. But that's it. That's where we are. And I'm really excited about being here and recording on Saturday, September the 28th at 1:24 p.m. This is probably, I think the third time that I've tried to record this podcast. And I'm really glad that I'm actually at this point and ready to do it. Yeah, it's just kind of been one of those seasons. I've been in a season where I just feel very restless. And it's not because there's like anything going on majorly. Like, life is good, even though it's just been quite an upheaval lately. But I find myself feeling a little bit restless. It's funny. I was talking to my therapist this week, and I told her, that I just feel like after my event, the reset, I had a reset. Yep. I had a reset. And it always goes that way. I'm not surprised, because when I'm talking to you guys about things, I'm talking to myself. I think that's one thing that we always have to remember. When you are giving advice to someone, when you are speaking on something, there's something in that for you. Like, it's not like the word just goes out for other people. That word is for you too. And it just bounces back in, so I'm not surprised, and I'm really excited about it, but I'm also very restless. Yeah, I think restless is like where I feel going into this, and not like I want to break free. Like I said, I love my life. I'm surrounded in love. I love my family. I love my job. It's just, I feel like there's more. And I wanted to talk about it today because I wonder, is there anybody else kind of feeling like that? I feel like in this season right now, everything going on, like things are changing. There's a lot of revelations, a lot of things being revealed, a lot of things being restructured. And I'm definitely going through that. I had a restructure on my job recently. I have a whole new role, whole new team. And I didn't find out about it until because I had been out, celebrating my love. And I found out about it kind of in the midst, but then I got the full clear download when I got back to work. And I was just like, okay, I mean, it's like a total upheaval and I'm cool with it. And I know for some people that would be like so surprising, but I'm totally cool with it because unfortunately I have operated in such a season of change all the time in my personal and my professional life that I feel like change now to me should be expected. I feel like if we're not at a point in life where you're not expecting something to possibly change, are we really looking at life the way that we should be looking at it? Because nothing stays the same forever. Everything is going to grow and evolve. And on a corporate level, that's definitely to be the case. I mean, we're all going to have different shifts in energy based upon what the business goals are needed. So you have to be pliable for that. And I'm very grateful that I'm at a season of pliability. But then taking it back to my personal life, it's like I'm totally in a season of growth and learning and change. And I have to think about it. This is the first time, probably in a long time, that I've actually had moments where I've realized that I'm just not fully living yet on the level that I want to live. And when I say that, it's not necessarily talking about finances, because I know most people always think when you think of levels, we always want to talk about finances, but I'm talking about levels personally. I had a moment in therapy because I was explaining to my therapist that with this restlessness, with this upheaval and change, I've made a change to how I want to approach living my life. And so what that means is, of course, I'm back in the season where I'm focusing on my mental health because of course I'm going to therapy. I've been going to therapy for the year. As you all know, I'm back in therapy because I'm trying to take limits off. And one of the things I guess that I have discovered in taking these limits off is that I have limits that don't just involve achieving goals, but they involve me. And they've become like little houses that I've allowed myself to live in because it's been comfortable and because I just didn't have the vision to imagine that my life could be different. And one prime example of that is as it relates to my weight. Yep, I'm going to go there, the weight conversation. You see, one of the things that I noticed about my event, when I look at the recap videos and I look at everything, one of the things that stood out to me significantly was that is not the person that I projected, the image that I showed, even though I look beautiful, is not the person that is inside of me. And let me say that again. The person that, when I'm looking at the recap videos, the person that I'm looking at in the video, I look beautiful. God knows I look beautiful. And that Finoel Target collaboration suit that I was wearing was everything. But that is not a true representation of the person who is inside of me. And so I did. And it's funny because like I've been on this health journey for quite a while. Like I've lost quite a bit of weight even before. And my weight has always kind of gone up and down. I mean, it's crazy. If I actually told my therapist, and I'm totally can't believe I'm saying this on putting it out in the internet, but I'm going to put it out there that I don't recall a time when I was as an adult under 200 pounds. I'm going to say it again, like really, I don't recall a time when as an adult that I was under 200 pounds. I mean, I've gotten close, don't get me wrong. I've, in my early like 20s, 30s, I was down maybe to like the 190s. I mean, we keep it honest, we keep it real here. And there's no judgment about that. But at that point, I don't know who I am. And I know that inside of me is a woman who is very confident about her body. And I'm very confident about the body that I have now. But this isn't the version of myself that I feel like I need to take in to this next year of my life. I'm about to have my 52nd rotation around the sun, and I'm very blessed to feel the way that I feel, to look the way that I look. I am definitely not my mama's 51 or anybody's mama's 51. I am my own 51, and it feels good to be 51. I feel sexy, fine. I can still turn heads and still turn my own head to know how beautiful I am, but I know that there is more for me. And so I've made a decision to get healthy, and I have enlisted a doctor, and I'm going to talk more about the journey. It's just, I kind of had to figure out a way to like feel comfortable talking about it and like really, really talking about it, because, weight is one of those things where it's so sensitive and it is such a struggle. Like losing weight is not for the weak. And people act like, oh, it's so easy to lose weight. No, it's not. I have run marathons. I have run 5Ks, 10Ks. I've done all of that. And I was still heavy, because as you heard me just say, I don't recall a time in my adult life when I was under 200 pounds. Even when I was out here on the pavement, I was still over 200 pounds. So I don't want to hear anybody try to make it seem like, heavier people are not out here trying to get healthy. That's some crap. And I can always also raise my hand and say, my labs look amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. I haven't had lab work since January, and I'm going to get new labs. But my labs looked beautiful. Like my doctor was like, girl, you really have great health. I said, absolutely, because I have been very conscious about it. But I was in a season where I wasn't, because I'm going to keep it all the way real. I'm an emotional eater. And when stress in life gets in the way, I found my way eating through it. And so trying to make the change really took place more so in the pandemic of all things, is when I made the decision to really start getting serious about my health. But I wasn't even 100% serious about it then, because I went without exercising for several years during the pandemic. At least the first 2 years, 2.5 years, I did not do a thing. I was just exercising by walking up and down the stairs, being able to survive this craziness, wearing all these masks, and just live my best life. I felt like that was enough. But as we started to kind of round our way through, I realized, you know what, that's not enough, and I want to be healthy. And so, yeah, I got a Peloton that sits in the living room of my house yes, it's like an eyesore, but it's there to remind me to hop on every day or every other day or whenever I can get it, so I can get some work in and start to make sure I prioritize my health, because it's really important to me. And so, yeah, I've been doing good, but I decided I want to do more. I want to do better. And yeah, like I said, I'm not truly representative of that woman. I'm not at my 100% best yet. And you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready. And I think for some of us, we have to get honest about the fact that we're not comfortable, or maybe we are comfortable, but not comfortable in the skin that we're in, and we're ready to make changes and don't want to be shamed about it. So I'm ready to make changes. And so, yeah, I have enlisted Dr. Hill, who was one of the doctors at my event, the Reset, and we are working together. And she got me on a plan to lose weight, and I'm so excited. And like I said, I'm going to talk more about it. I just literally started. I just had my first week weigh-in, which was awesome. I lost like 7.9 pounds, and I really enjoyed the process, because Dr. Hill is actually sitting down with me and teaching me how to eat, how to actually look at the food portion size, because let's all be real, we all try to say we eat healthy, but are we really eating healthy? Because the portion size we know would probably feed like 2 or 3 people, and trying to, help me understand how her plan and my thoughts can work together, because I love to intermittent fast. I know that's a fad, but I like it. It works for me. And so how we can make it work. And so, yeah, I have lost 7.9 pounds in my first week, and I feel amazing. And no, I am not on any weight loss, not any GL1Ps or semaglutide or any of that, not at this point. But I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there just in case anybody were to ask. If it gets to that point where I need it, I'm sure going to get it. Yep. I've decided, who am I to put limits on who I can be, what the best that I can be, based upon preconceived fears, preconceived notions, because there's a lot of stigma behind people taking stuff to assist them with weight loss. And a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about it. But, it comes to a point in time where we have to say F everybody's opinions. you know what? Like in the words of the great philosopher Bimo Ross said, fuck them people who don't co-sign how you want to navigate through your life. And excuse my potty mouth, at times it comes out. I definitely love the Lord, but remember, I'm in the world, not of the world. Jesus is still working on me. Just dropping that quick disclaimer. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. And I'm very open to it. And I'm going to do it. So if I hit a stall, then we're going to talk about it. But right now we're doing it with just like fat burners and vitamins and me following her plan and getting everything together. And I'm really excited. And so, yeah, this is my first weekend and I'll talk more about it because I think we all need to get to a point where we have recognized that it is time to be our best selves. Like I'm ready. I am so ready. And it's different this time. Like, I don't get me wrong. I've dieted. I've done all the things before. And I've been dieting, if I think about it, on a cycle since I was young, since I was a teenager. And I'm tired of being on the cycle. So now it's about making healthy lifestyle changes that are going to last forever without making me feel like I'm going to have to give up all the things I love in order to be the person that I want to be. That doesn't even match. I need to be the person that I want to be, the person that I see, while at the same time being able to have the things that I desire within reason and within balance. Because I'm not going to lie, a 52-year-old metabolism is a heck of a lot different than a 20-year-old metabolism. For my younger audience listeners out there, while you guys are in your 20s, early 30s too, you really don't really see, to me, the really slow down of your metabolism until you start to hit 40. Enjoy it. But remember, start to think about how you want to feel when you're in your 50s, how you want to look in your 50s. I'm not going to act like we all don't want to look good. I want to stay looking good. And so I want you to start thinking about that, but enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that your metabolism is super fast right now, because there's going to come a day where you're going to wake up and that metabolism is going to be like on life support. And you're going to need to be able to adjust your habits so that you can be the best version of yourself going into the later part of your life. Because ultimately, even though it probably sounds like it, I'll be honest, this adjustment, this realizing that I am not the person that is inside of me, desiring to step into this new cycle of health and lose the weight forever, is really not about vanity. Not at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm fine now. My man likes it just like it is right now. However, I know that there is more inside of me. I literally had him laughing because I was like, I plan on being 52 and like a straight up hoochie, and not in a bad way. Because I love the Lord, and he corrected me and he was like, no, you're not going to do that. It's just, you have this desire where it's like, you want to have the mind of Christ, but the body of a stripper, as Lexi says, one of the great gospel singers and entertainers out here. And I said, you are 100% right. I do. I am ready for that aspect of my life, but it's really, again, still doesn't even relate back to just the physical. I'll be honest, it relates to the fact that I have this desire inside of myself to do so much more with this brand, with the reset. I mean, 2025 is coming quickly, and we are already getting ready to go into planning mode. My event planner, Tita, and I, yes, we will be doing a retreat in November because, y'all, we're coming back. I'm coming back 2025 like no other. I have plans. We have plans in mind to even exceed what we were able to accomplish this year. And so I want to be able to do that at the best version of myself. I want to do that with all the energy that I need, all of the passion that I need. And I'll be honest, that means my health needs to be top tier so that I can do that, so that I can run this race and keep going and be inspired and push. Because unfortunately, when you don't feel good physically, it affects you mentally, and then things slow down. And that's one of the reasons why everything kind of has to be on the table. Everything works together, why we have to start prioritizing our mental health and our physical health, because those things are so paramount and key in order to be able to manage all the other aspects of our lives. And so, yeah, I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to get there because I got a doctor for the mental. My therapist and I are really getting into work and having a good time. And I see changes in me, and I'm very grateful. I'm taking those limits off. But yeah, I'm taking the limits off in my health. I'm like, I don't want to just have good labs. I want to lose this weight. I want to be in a position where I feel and am just as energetic as I want to be, and I'm ready to go out here and take on the world because I got big things to go. I got big things to do and I'm restless. So let me help feed my restlessness. Let me help give myself the energy that I need. And it's just time to get real. So yeah, it's time to get real. And I'm in it. And I'm not going to change how I'm doing life. I'm still doing life. I'm getting ready. Actually, in a couple of hours, I'm going to go out to dinner for the first time since I've been on this new weight loss journey with a friend, and I've already like scanned the menu. Like, yes, y'all, I'm like that serious. I'm already looking at the menu like, yeah, I'm gonna have a side salad and focus on the fellowship. And that's gonna be cool. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me anymore, but that's what it is because my health means more to me than anything. Being the best version of myself is a top priority. And I'm saying this because I want you to start thinking about yourself. Are you putting yourself as a top priority? Is your health a top priority? Is your weight a top priority? Because it's not about a certain size. Like I don't have a number in mind. Like believe it or not, I don't, because I love my hips, thighs, and curves. I'm a curvy girl, and I've always been, and I always probably will be, and want to be. But I also know that from a weight perspective, I can drop some weight. I need to drop some weight and I need to get healthy. I need to make sure that my BMI is in a healthier range and my fats. Luckily, one of the things that I love about Dr. Hill, I'm going to have Dr. Hill on. I'm going to have to talk to her to see if she would let me go ahead and interview her. And we can just really like dive into it. But like, I love the fact that luckily I don't have a lot of visceral fat. I don't really have any visceral fat around my stomach. So really that's like those fat areas that are covering like your kidneys and your stomach and your intestines, that area that can really is like a danger zone. I'm very lucky I don't have that issue. But I got thick thighs, a booty, and big boobs. So it's like other areas that I can lose weight and move fat off. I can tighten up my core. Core strength is essential. Like we do. I really am. I'm going to put a note to myself. We have to have an episode talking about it because your core is essential. I know that. And my core used to be stronger, but especially when I had my knee injury, because it was essential to helping me being able to recover, because you need to have that. And so we need to have more conversations, honest conversations about what we're doing. And so, yeah, I think that's definitely going to be it. But kind of going back to the subject, yeah, like I said, I'm restless. I feel that there's this person inside of me who is trying to get out. And you know what? I'm ready to let the limits off and let her out. And I'm going to do the work to get her out. And so I feel like that is something that has to be a focus going into this next year. And I'm thinking about it in so many different aspects of myself, because as I'm sitting here trying to figure out goals for 2025, excuse me, and also how I've aligned myself with the goals that I have, because kind of doing like a quick little check in my mind, I've accomplished a lot of the things that I set out I would do. And I'm also though thinking about, okay, what is 2025 really feeling like for me? And so for me, I'll be honest, I've kind of started my mindset shifting toward 2025 early. Like this isn't the first time. Like I don't think I said this out loud, but I'm going to say it out loud. Like after when the reset was happening, my event, just an example of where my mindset has been. I was already thinking about what 2025 was going to look like about 2-3 months before we even did the event in August. Like, granted, we delayed the event initially because I knew it wasn't right. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't ready to go. But when we knew that we were going to move to August, we were ready to go, and we had that plan and we were executing the plan and getting it done. We were already kind of having conversations about, okay, what is 2025 going to look like? Because we were very intentional with how we did 2024 so that we could get everything set up for 2025. So yes, that's where my mindset is. And so I'm already thinking about what I'm going to feel in 2025. How do I feel leading up to 2025? What is it going to look like? And so I'm taking this time to kind of put all of my thoughts together and where I am. And like I said, I feel like it's a season of rebirth. I feel like it's a season of coming out of shells, like a season of growth and expansion. And I just want you to take a moment for yourself to ask yourself, what does your 2025 look like? Like, yeah, we don't have to wait until December to start having this conversation. That's typically what everybody does. But for some of us, it may be time to start having that conversation now. And maybe it is a time for it now because you want to maybe do things a little differently, or you just maybe need to realize how far you've come and how going into 2025 is just going to be even more of a setup for you to take it to the next level in any area of your life. And so I really just want to share this journey of restlessness, this journey of rebirth, this journey of growth that I'm on because yeah, I think it's time for us to be the best versions of ourselves. It's time for us to stop limiting us just because we couldn't see ourselves in a certain thing. Like I said, I never recalled what it was like in my adult life to be under 200 pounds. That's just one example. I mean, I have lived in a season of my life as a caregiver where I don't recall, ever, it's very rare. Like, okay. So when, as a caregiver, one of the things, and I just talked about it in therapy because it was kind of one of the things that I realized about myself, and I realized it recently. And when I bought my house, I was like 38 when I got my house for the first time. I was a homeowner at 38. I know that's probably not the sexiest thing to say, but it's the truth. That's when I was able to buy a house. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm really grateful because God gave me this house. And I've talked about that before. But I only had my house for 5 months with me and my sister before my mom came to live with me. And in that time, since then, now we're like 14, almost 15 years in the game, I've never decorated my home. Like my house is functional, but it doesn't represent my personality. And I'm just going to be honest, it's functional. It's functional because I had to make the decision based upon my care for my mom that it needed to be functional because my mom is blind. So I really can't change up things within my house because she needs to be able to navigate it. And so I gave up my home. And not that I gave up my home, but I gave it up. And, I never put my stamp on it. I just made it a place where people could live and grow and be nurtured and taken care of, which I'm very grateful. This home has, produced beautifully for us, but I never owned it. I never claimed it. I never decorated it because I lost that ability. I mean, we were 5 months in when my father passed away. And during that first 5 months, I was just moving in, just trying to get things together. Child, I still had boxes probably in the house until he passed away. And I never took it back. And so I'm saying that to show you how easy it is in life to box ourselves in and to forget about us in the care and sacrifice for other people or just work or life in general. And how I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, where are you boxing yourself in? And is this now the time that you need to let yourself out? Because that's where I think I'm at. I've boxed myself in for so long and I'm ready to let myself out. I feel blessed that I've been able to let myself out here and to be able to produce this podcast, this community, the reset, like all of those things. But it took a lot of work and it's taking a lot of work to keep it going and to keep growing. And I'm so grateful for it because it's forcing me to look at the other areas of my life where I'm boxing myself in and say, you know what? It's time to let myself out. I want you to let yourself out. I want you to look at your life and ask yourself, what are you really holding yourself back from? Because we are all holding ourselves back from something because we can't envision it. We can't feel it. We don't understand it. We're afraid of it. But what are we really afraid of? Who are we really answering to? Why are we not out here trying to be the best version of ourselves at all times? And those are rhetorical because I really don't have all the answers to that. But, I'm asking myself those questions. And so I'm taking some chances and doing some new things. And that's the journey that I'm on right now. And I'm really excited about it, scared totally scared. Like, wow, am I going to be able to really see this through, especially when I think about like weight and other stuff. Like I've tried it before, am I going to be able to follow through? But I'm going to follow through because I'm ready. I'm ready this time. I'm standing in the fullness of it. I'm standing in the honesty of it. I'm telling y'all the truth about it. Y'all are like the best accountability partners. That's why I said community is so important. That's one of the reasons why I want you guys to have that prayer of community, because you need people in your life who can support you. I've talked to my girls about it and they've been very supportive of what I'm trying to accomplish and where I am. But I'm being real. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it realer with you than I probably kept it real with them. Like I have been in a season of realizing that I've been living in a box in certain aspects of my life, and it's time to let those things die. Heck, I was living in a box as it related to love. And now I found someone who loves me fully and completely and is just wonderful and emotional and sweet. And it challenges me to meet that love back, to give all of that love back to him when I've come from experiences where that type of love wasn't shown to me, or I was always trying to chase someone that I had to teach how to love. And for the first time, I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm really grateful, but it definitely shows me have my own love life in a box. Ask yourself, what areas of your life are you living in a box? And it's time to let yourself free, let yourself out. And I want you to really start to do the work. And so I'm going to be honest, for this last few months of the year, as we are leading into 2025, some of this content is going to be devoted to letting ourselves out. Now, I have already decided that, yes, I am going to have a conversation about health and weight loss. Yes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Dr. Hill on the podcast by the end of the year because her schedule is bananas. But if I can do it, I will, because I definitely think this is a conversation to have, because our health is wealth. And it's time to make decisions that are not just cookie cutter, because I'm going to be honest, this is an individualized journey. I'm just choosing to share it. You may not be able to do all the things that I'm doing and get the results. And you have to be open to that. You got to realize your journey is for you, but you should take it. But really, it's not even about that. Like I said, it's about taking ourselves out the box and deciding that we are going to be the best versions of ourselves, no matter what we feel, no matter how we fear it, because we are ready to go forth. And I want us to be ready to go forward. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. And I'm definitely going to be making sure that some of this content will have tips and different suggestions and books that you can read to help you take yourself out the box, because we're not going back. 2025 is about being the best versions of ourselves. Let's go get it, y'all. We got to get this thing together. And on top of that, yes, I do have some other amazing ladies that I will be bringing to the podcast to spotlight. I'm very excited to share their journeys with you. But I want you to start, like I said, let's start thinking about it as we are gearing up, because, at the end of 2024, or end of every year, I always like to do like an end of year recap, thinking about how we're teeing it up for 2025. But right now, I can tell you right off top, it is one of the main themes for me for 2025 will be being the best version of myself that I can be. I'm out of the box. I'm living out of the box. I am not putting myself in any more limits at any level of my life. And I want you to start to think about what your theme, what your energy is going to be going into 2025, because you have to stay ready. You don't want to have to get ready. You got to stay ready. So it's time for us to get ready, stay ready, and get it done together. And I cannot wait to support you. So that is this week's episode. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I wanted to make sure it was like compact, it was concise. I hope that you gleaned something from this. Let's get out of the box. Let's get it done. Let's be the best versions of ourselves. I hope that you are taking this weekend to enjoy yourself, to rest, to think, to love, to laugh, and to be surrounded in good things, because you need to keep that energy close to you. I will have all of my information in the show notes. I cannot wait to talk with you guys next week. I'll be back with another fresh episode, and I want you to take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.